filings running up the hill into the middle. Let's put some iron filings in the dish. Turn the handle and see what happens. At once we see the walls building up and the backward rotation and something else. Can you see the spirals of filings running up the hill into the middle? The in implies there must be an outward travelling magnetic field to produce it. And if this is true, then it's very exciting indeed, because centrifugal magnetism, which is what this would be, is unknown at present. But if we turn the handle more slowly and watch what happens in slow motion, we can see that the filings form into lozenge-shaped solids, and these are rolling over and over and spiraling into the middle, for the same reason that any rolling object traces out a spiral on a flat surface. So we hadn't... Well, I don't know what you expected to happen. I know the first time I tried this, I certainly didn't get the result I expected. Look at the way the walls are forming. Walls of filings, spacing themselves from each other. The spacing between the walls depends on their height. So I can comb this lot like I could comb my hair. All I'm doing now is flattening the filings down. Of the engineer to interpret science. You mustn't let it get too pure that it becomes a nonsense. And as far as I'm concerned, I go along with Humpty Dumpty. When I use a word, said Humpty Dumpty, it means just what I choose it to mean, neither more nor less. And so say I with emphasis. For after what I thought to be a clear exposition of a subject in this theatre last November, my use of the conservation of momentum principle was interpreted as a claim to have created momentum out of nothing. How anyone with a PhD could get that wrong, I cannot imagine. But when the journalistic editor got at it, the headline was something like, "Newton was wrong, says Professor." Professor said nothing of the kind. But from then it's a short step to perpetual motion, energy creation from nowhere, and half the crackpots in the kingdom are writing to me, solving the world's energy crisis. It's like the whispering game at a party. After that follows the slings and arrows. You have no idea. And talking of crackpots, Freeman Dyson made these comments in an article in the Scientific American. Most of the crackpot papers which are submitted to the Physical Review are rejected not because it is impossible to understand them, but because it is possible. Those which are impossible to understand are usually published. So that there is the wheel, here is the inner ring, here is the outer ring. All three sets of pivots, the axes pass through the center of mass of the gyro. Now I will tell you what precession is. A torque, by the way, is a twisting force. Instead of a push, which is a force, you push a thing which is pivoted and it twists. So torque is a twisting force. The result of the twisting force is a movement, a rotation, but not in the axis in which you applied the torque. And we call that precession. So I put a torque on the outer ring, it is the inner that precesses. I put a torque on the inner ring, it is the outer that precesses. It will work in either direction. Oh, you're cheating, I can hear my critics saying. You're pulling it round as well as doing that. All right, we will satisfy the critics. We will hang a weight from the inner ring so that gravity and not I shall put on the torque. And there you see a precession. Not the sort of movement you really expected,